I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
Damn.
147. Shit, if I
147.
tap that chain, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I
You
already know
know
he
he ain't
is.
got no chance.
I already know he is.
The rivalry between Tank Davis and Terence Crawford continues to heat up, igniting debates across the boxing world. For years, the two have sparred over who could knock out whom, but the feud has recently shifted to arguments over earnings and even whose partner is bigger. Quite literally, Tank's personal jabs inevitably provoked a response, and fans, along with Crawford, were quick to fire back. After Tank floated the idea of a fight between them, Crawford finally reached his limit and delivered a blunt reality check. Taking to X, Crawford didn't hold back, warning Tank with a sharp message. Stop being scared and fight Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis before you talk about someone on a level you'll never reach. The words landed like a brutal left hook, further fueling the fiery exchange between two of boxing's biggest stars. The tension between them shows no signs of cooling anytime soon.
I grow some balls and fight Shakur, Keyshawn, and stop being scared. That's probably why you ran your girl over and beat her ass, because she know you ain't got no nuts, my people. You know? And then right there, Gervonta pretty much insinuated, if I was to fight Crawford, I'll make him look little. Then they both said, yeah, I want dudes to see me and try something. That would be his last going for greatness. And then Terence
Crawford's call-out strikes a personal chord. Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis aren't just fighters, they're close friends of Crawford, with Davis even being his protege under the guidance of their shared trainer, Brian Bomack McIntyre. However, let's be real, Keyshawn Davis has yet to prove himself on the big stage. His performances against Miguel Meduino and Nahir Albright were underwhelming, and fans are quick to highlight his avoidance of Cuban phenom Andy Cruz, who defeated him 4 times in the amateurs. Still, Crawford insists this is the level Tank belongs on, not in the conversation with him. While there's some controversial truth to Crawford's stance, a portion of fans believe Tank might actually have a shot at Bud, and maybe even pull off an upset.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes, and, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin, so tell him to come and touch it.
Tank Davis, unsurprisingly, has no interest in the opponents Terence Crawford suggested. Davis, a proven box office superstar, knows his worth and has no plans to give Keyshawn Davis a platform, especially given Keyshawn's lack of a significant fan base or marketability. As for Shakur Stevenson, while undeniably skilled, critics often label him as boring due to his defensive style. Even Eddie Hearn, who signed Stevenson with hopes of making him a global star, faces challenges marketing him in the US. Tank sees little incentive to fight Shakur, knowing he'd bear the brunt of promotional efforts for a high-risk, low-reward matchup. But Crawford wasn't finished. In a now-deleted scathing tweet, he took things further, mocking Tank's character and even referencing his personal controversies. That's probably why you ran your girl over and beat her ass, because you don't got no nuts, and she knows it, Crawford wrote, ending with a laughing emoji. This rivalry has gone beyond typical boxing trash talk. While fighters often criticize careers or styles, personal jabs about family and off-ring behavior cross a line. Crawford isn't just questioning Tank's career moves, he's attacking his pride, escalating a feud that has already become one of the most heated in recent boxing history. Tank Davis didn't take Crawford's insult lying down, firing back with his own criticism. Tank accused Crawford of prioritizing paydays over legacy, pointing specifically to Crawford's call-out of Canelo Alvarez for a fight in Saudi Arabia. To Davis, the move is less about chasing greatness and more about securing a massive retirement check. Y'all really think he's chasing greatness? Tank posted on X, he's not. That's just what he has to do to make decent money. The numbers seem to support Tank's claim. Crawford's last fight, against Israel Madrimov, reportedly drew a modest 75,000 to 100,000 pay-per-view buys. A far cry from the blockbuster numbers Tank consistently generates with his bouts.
You got guys who are really, really, really good, and they're not really hell-bent on becoming a star. I put you in that category. I put Terence in that category. Maybe Shakur, where they feel like they don't really want to, like, Terence ain't bothered about going to
Crawford sees things differently. He argues that moving up 2 weight divisions to challenge the unified super middleweight champion is a bit to solidify his legacy. Legacy is the word Crawford emphasizes, but Tank Davis isn't convinced. For Davis, Crawford's leap to 168 pounds without first proving himself at that weight reeks of desperation. Fans remain divided on the issue. Some applaud Crawford's ambition, while others side with Davis, seeing the Canelo fight as more about the payday than the glory. The tension between Crawford and Davis isn't new. It traces back to Crawford's dominant victory over Errol Spence Jr., where he became the undisputed champion. In the aftermath of Crawford's triumph, Tank stirred the pot by claiming he could beat Crawford at 147 pounds. Crawford addressed the claim during an appearance on The Breakfast Club, responding with calm confidence. If he comes up to 147 thinking he's just going to knock Terence Crawford out, he's got another thing coming, he said. The statement was measured but carried a clear warning. Crawford isn't a fighter you intimidate.
So about that fight, is it even possible at a catch weight?
No, ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
Not even entertaining a catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
Despite the heated exchanges, a fight between Terence Crawford and Tank Davis seems unlikely. Crawford has his sights set on Canelo Alvarez, a matchup offering both legacy and financial rewards. Meanwhile, Tank is focused on his next opponent, Lamont Roach Jr., with a fight scheduled at the Barclays Center on March 1. Fans of both fighters are left to wonder, is this rivalry all talk, or could there be a future where Crawford and Davis meet in the ring? What makes this feud even more intriguing are the controversial opinions surrounding it. Some argue that Crawford is punching down by engaging with Tank, who fights at 135 pounds. A potential fight at 147 or higher would be a mismatch due to Tank's smaller size. Others, however, believe Tank's confidence is misplaced, underestimating just how dominant Crawford is at higher weight classes. The back and forth may never lead to a fight, but it has certainly captured the boxing world's attention.
Somebody like Tank say, 147, I knock Bud out.
Well, he just talking. You know, he got the confidence in himself that he believed that he can do that because he's been knocking all these fighters out that he's been in the ring with. You know, so no knock to Tank, but there's definitely levels.
Then there's the issue of marketability. While Crawford might not match Tank Davis as a pay-per-view draw, his accomplishments in the ring speak for themselves. This raises a perennial question in the boxing world: should legacy outweigh popularity? Tank, on the other hand, is no stranger to controversy. Critics accuse him of cherry-picking opponents and avoiding the toughest challenges in his division, including Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Crawford's remarks about Tank being scared resonate with those who believe Davis has yet to prove himself against elite competition. However, Tank's supporters see it differently. They argue he has nothing left to prove. His undefeated record, knockout power, and ability to sell out arenas are proof enough of his status as one of boxing's biggest stars.
If he want to retire with the career that he got, then go ahead and do whatever you got to do. So I disagree with it. I think it's soft, but that's...
Terence Crawford has finished 31 of his 41 fights inside the distance, while Gervonta "Tank" Davis boasts 28 knockouts in 30 bouts. If these two wrecking balls of boxing ever collided, it would be pure chaos in the ring, and chaos is where legends are forged. Crawford's methodical dismantling of opponents contrasts sharply with Davis's jaw-dropping, out-of-nowhere knockouts. Yet they share one undeniable trait: when they sense weakness, the fight is as good as over. Brian Norman Jr., who has sparred with Crawford, vividly described what it's like to face the undefeated champion. Crawford, he explained, doesn't rely on a single fight-ending punch, but systematically breaks opponents down, a slow death by 1,000 precise strikes. He doesn't necessarily one-shot people, but he beats you up, and then he kills you. Norman said, on the other hand, Norman reserved his highest praise for Davis' raw, unfiltered power. As far as one shot, who got it? I gotta give that to Tank, he admitted. Crawford's brilliance lies in his adaptability. He can switch stances and exploit weaknesses in real time, turning the tide of a fight with surgical precision. Davis, while often underestimated for his boxing IQ, thrives in chaos, using his explosiveness to seize opportunities and deliver fight-ending blows. When Roy Jones Jr. weighed in on a hypothetical matchup, he highlighted Davis' explosiveness. That's the one thing Tank has that Errol Spence didn't, Jones noted. An explosive fighter can go a lot of places. Spence, a master technician, couldn't cope with Crawford's adjustments and relentless pressure, but Davis is cut from a different cloth. A predator capable of changing a fight with one soul-snatching punch. Critics might argue that Davis' level of competition doesn't compare to Crawford's. It's a valid point, given Crawford's victories over elite fighters like Errol Spence Jr., Shawn Porter, and Kell Brook. Still, the clash of styles between Crawford's calculated dominance and Davis' devastating power would make for one of the most fascinating matchups in modern boxing.
Yeah, dude. See, what I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. You know, back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer, George was a puncher, Ernest Shavers was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab.